tone was set with those two first-half goals. No need to debate the awarding of the penalty. We were just still wondering what was going through the mind of Romain Saiss.
Yeah, and when a game's as tight as it is today and you have to be strong and you have to be condensed, to throw in a tackle, that's a huge, huge error. It's like missing an open goal to a certain extent. To give them a gilt-edged opportunity from the penalty spot when Kevin De Bruyne is running into an area of no danger whatsoever, it's slightly baffling, to be very honest. It must be incredibly frustrating for the manager, because now you're behind now, and now you are really trying to search for the next, when City were dominating with the play.
And you felt Wolves weren't getting close enough to them in that first half, and that's the way they conceded the second, really.
Yeah, they did. I'm not sure whether... I know half the team played on Thursday in the Carabao Cup against Stoke, but here again, you can't allow teams like City, and especially with one of the best players in the world, De Bruyne, just to lift their heads up, pick pass. I mean, Wolves at no stage of that phase of play got close to the ball, nearly getting there. You know, Conor Cody goes back into defence, plays Sterling onside. And this happened the total first 45 minutes. You know, against the best teams, you've got to get in their faces. You've got to stop them from playing. You know, make them feel uncomfortable. You know, they were playing in their slippers in the first 45 minutes. It was that easy for them.
It looked as if it was Wolves' first game of the season. It looked as if they were, we just can't get into the tempo of the game. And Manchester City were very, very dominant. I mean, the second half, Wolves were much better. But when you're playing catch-up, you can't play catch-up that often with these teams. Once they've given the goal, 2-goal start, that's the end of it.
Although they did make them interesting at 2-1 briefly, didn't they?
No, they did, to be fair. They had to. I mean, we said the Wolves are so strong in the second half, and they showed it. I mean, this is unbelievable. Prudence, nutmegs on Kevin De Bruyne, and wonderful header. You know, he's a great header of the ball. This is because Traore was further up the park now, Macca. You know, before he was so far back, playing as a right back, more or less. That's a wonderful ball, and you think after that they're back in the game.
You just wanted they just needed to score earlier. They missed some real gilt-edged chances in the second half. Manchester City got a little bit tired, wanted to keep possession, didn't necessarily need or think they needed the third goal, and that allowed Wolves to get back into the game. And they had a host of chances to get something from it.
Big chances as well,
big
Macca,
chances,
weren't they?
Chances that normally this is Traore playing further forwards, as we've mentioned. One to Podence earlier, spin, knocks it wide. And this is Neto this time running past Mendy. I don't know why he never hit that Podence, because he's, 2 yards further forwards on his better foot.
I mean, this is a wonderful opportunity, Tips out about a lucky, great try. No, put it in the back of the net. If it goes in, everyone goes, what a great goal. But, and this, for someone like Jimenez, is a golden opportunity. Tried to generate the power on the ball, but, if I'm, looking at the game, we've created 4 or 5 good chances against probably one of the best teams in Europe. So you can always take some positive from the game. The thing is, you can't start slow against these teams.
They only play for 45 minutes a day, and in that 45 minutes, when they really did compete, they were the better side and made better chances, but it was just too late in the end.
And the goal not only rounded off a Manchester City win to make it 3-1, but as we say, rounded off an incredible weekend for everybody in the Premier League. The most goals in a 10-match round. And Jesus wasn't passing.
Yeah, and it's always nice to finish on the best goal of the weekend, isn't it? A huge deflection. I mean, this was just incredibly fortunate for Gabriel Jesus, very unfortunate for Wolves. It's just a big, massive deflection off Conor Cody, and he gets his rewards. But it's great the fact that the first proper season with the 10 games, proper game week, has resulted in 44 goals, isn't it? It's exceptional.
I think you got, you know what, even though it's City's first game, you still feel that they've got to win every game, don't you? Because if they drop points behind Liverpool, it's like that. You think, OK, we've got time to pick up. But the way Liverpool were last year and the year before, every 3 points is vital to City. And that's why when they're in front, they've got to go and get 3 or 4, because they do let teams back into the game, and they will get punished eventually.
OK, let's see what the City boss thinks of it. Here's Pep Guardiola.
Pep, you expected a difficult game today. What do you think of the performance that won it in the end?
Yeah, it's a good one. So we know how difficult it is. This stadium, and but the game was good.
The intensity, the energy with which you started this game today, was that a big part of your game plan tonight?
Always is try to do in this way. Sometimes we cannot because the opponent is good, and sometimes we need more time to get our best condition. But it's a good start coming here and win.
But given the lack of time that you've had to prepare for this season, was it particularly pleasing to see a performance like that and a fast start like that?
Yeah, definitely. definitely.
How big a boost was tonight for Phil Foden? He's had a difficult couple of weeks. Not only the goal, but his overall contribution tonight.
Yeah, the goal in the second half, he played incredible well. He helped us to keep the ball. We could not run much because we are tired in our legs.
And given what happened to the likes of Manchester United and Tottenham in their first games, and both their managers bemoaning the lack of preparation, it was all about the win.
Yeah,
and the 3
yeah.
points.
You can't change your attitude or your perception just because it's Manchester City. We said it when Aston Villa and Sheffield United played, but particularly Aston Villa because it was their first game. As long as you win the game, you can always improve, and it's exactly the same as today. We always, when we talk about Manchester City or Liverpool, because we've got such high expectations, we expect them to be brilliant all the time. But it's natural with the squad that they've got, and it is a thinnish squad because they've got 7 missing, that all today was about is winning the game. It's a difficult away game at Wolves, considering they lost twice against them last year. You can understand that they got tired in the second half.
He gave a debut as a substitute to his other new boy, Ferran Torres, in the second half. As he came on, Raheem Sterling came off, Paul, and we noticed this. Anything in this? What's your view of this?
Listen, I remember a situation last year with Sergio Aguero when he got pulled apart. Obviously, as a player of Sterling's class, you're going to be disappointed when you get dragged off. He wants to score goals. He's a goal scorer. And like anything, he's disappointing. But looking at Pep's face, there was a bit of frown in his eyes, as if he wasn't too happy. And even in that interview just there, you know,
Didn't look happy, did he?
happy, as Macca said, they've just beat Wolves. You know, got beat twice by him last year. Not one smile. So something was bothering him. I don't want to read too much into it.
Yeah.
But he didn't look too happy considering they just beat Wolves.
Yeah, it's 80 minutes. You expect fresh legs to come on. Ferran Torres is a big new signing. You know, the fact that you've come off after 80 minutes in that type of game. But something was definitely said between them to upset. The both of them were upset at the end of that discussion, weren't they?
Let's get a quick reaction from the Wolves boss, Nuno.
Nuno, commiserations. How did you see it tonight?
We had a good moment, a good spell, that we had possession, that we managed, and we could see the penalty. From there on, things becomes harder. Much improved in the second half, much improved. I think we